Well, Missouri and their playoff hopes fall in Nashville today, 17-10 to the Vanderbilt Commodores. I'm Tucker Franklin here on the Mizzou That 2 postgame show. Lots to talk about in that one. A lot to talk about in that game as Missouri does fall to Vanderbilt on College Game Day on ESPN in front of everybody. They fall 17-10 after losing their quarterback in the first drive of the second half. They lose after losing their starting tight end. They lose after the defense put up a hell of a performance. Hell of a performance by the defense. Shout out to the Missouri defense in this one. The Missouri defensive performance deserved to win this football game. Only allowing 17 points to Vandy, which coming into it, I mean, they had their offense was averaging a lot of points. I think that the way the defense played, it should not be understated in how Missouri's defense held Diego Pavia of 10 of 19 for 129 yards and a pick. Diego Pavia has that stat line you feel pretty darn good. He runs for 8 for 20, does have a touchdown on his run, only along a 13, which was early on in the game. He had that 13-yard run. Matt Zollers comes in and has a better line than Diego Pavia. 14 of 23, 138 yards, a touchdown, and a 61% completion percentage on 125.6 passer rating. Carson in the chat says, have we ever had the defense and the offense show up at the same time? Only against Louisiana, I guess. I'm knocking shit over here. Only against Louisiana, I guess. I appreciate everyone joining me live at the time here. Jake, I see your frustrations. Curtis, we'll get to those. Michael Blair, appreciate everybody. Campbell Cooks, thank you everybody for joining me in the chat as this one is. We are, we gotta talk about that one and how that one all went down too, because if you're looking at the final stat line, obviously the big headline from this game is going to be Beau Pribula's injury. Beau Pribula leaving the game, not returning in football pads. He returned to the sideline on crutches in a walking boot, left the field in an air cast. Also, shout out Vandy for carting him off and then immediately putting him in a wheelchair as soon as he got carted. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? What are we doing? Beau Pribula, 9 of 14 on the day, 68 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, but he does also add in the rushing department 4 carries for 10 yards as well. Tough offensive day. It was a tough offensive day for Missouri, even when Beau was in the game. When they had Zollers in the game, they started moving the ball a little bit more, but a tough offensive day all around for the Missouri Tigers. Let's start and talk about the drives of this game. I mean, look, this game was a stalemate for a very long time, a defensive standoff. We had Mizzou start off with taking the ball. They win the toss to take the ball. That was an interesting choice on their part. Does put a lot of pressure on the offense, but didn't really work out because they went 3 and out, gave the ball back to Vandy, who would put together a 6-play drive, which ended in a punt. Mizzou then punted, Vandy then punted, Mizzou punted, Vandy punted, and then finally Mizzou does work their way down for a field goal. I do want to say on that third Vanderbilt drive, on that third drive that Vandy had, they drove all the way down into the Mizzou territory. That was a 9-play drive that went 48 yards. It took about 4.5 minutes of game time up. That drive was big for Missouri because that should have been points for Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt probably should have scored a touchdown there, at least a field goal, but they had some personal foul penalties. I think they also had maybe a hold on that as well. They had a couple of penalties at that point to really take them out of field goal range and make them give the ball back to the Tigers, which in the Tigers, Mizzou responded, drove all the way down, 7-minute drive on their end for 3 points. And that's really what this Missouri offense needed to get that time of possession game back. They needed to take a long drive, a long possession, and have it end in 7. Now, there's also that also probably should have ended in 6 as well, because there was a tripping penalty on that drive, and it should have been 6 for Missouri. So, nevertheless, tie 3-3, and then Missouri gives up the field goal to Vandy right after they give it back. And then You go to the half 3-3. It was a very uneventful first half for Missouri Vanderbilt. A very uneventful first half. It was a feeling out. It was like the heavyweight match, like heavyweight boxing match, where they was just feeling out for a little bit, and then it started to get a little bit more interesting in the second half here, because Vandy starts it off. Missouri gets an interception, puts themselves in phenomenal territory, in phenomenal range to take the lead in this football game, to go up 10-3. They get an interception, and they fail to convert on 4th and half of an inch, and they fail to get in. That is when Bo Prabula gets hurt. Let's talk about that right now. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that drive. Let's talk about that that play calling there too, because I know there's a lot of people upset about the play call on 4th down. I don't necessarily hate the 4th down play call. That play works. I know they run it a lot, but that play works. What they should have done was run it on 3rd down if they knew that they were going to go for it on 4th down. If they knew they were going to go for it on 4th down, why throw it? Why throw it if you know that you're going to go for it on 4th down and that's the play that you want to run? I think that they probably could have had a little bit. Hardy did not, I don't think, got any touches on that goal line drive. Jake, I see you in the chat. I don't think he did, and he should have. He might have got one early. Might have got one early. Maybe 1st down or 2nd down. I can't remember. I think it might have been 2nd down. He gets the carry and he doesn't quite get in, which puts him like very close. But they have a phenomenal tandem of running backs. I don't know why on 3rd down you don't run the ball. I know that's what they're expecting you to do, but look, if you can't get a yard, you don't deserve to win the game. And ultimately, that's what it came down to. They don't get a yard. They don't deserve to win the game. And they turn it over on downs. Here's the other reason I understand going for it on 4th down. I know there are a lot of people kind of upset about going for it on 4th down, especially game tied. You take the points. Points are going to be at a premium. Sure, I understand that. I understand wanting to take the lead right there. But your defense is playing so damn well. Your defense just forced a turnover. Your defense in the first half held this Vanderbilt offense, who scores a lot of points and is really explosive, to 3 points in the first half. You feel pretty damn good. Let me pull this up on the other side. I think in the first half of that football game, I don't know if I can do it on this one, actually. I can on the Chiefs one, but I could usually sort by halves and stuff. But in that game, Missouri's defense was playing incredibly, phenomenally well. And I understand wanting to keep that going. I know there's going to be a lot of frustration with Kirby Moore there. I thought Kirby Moore actually called a really good game once Matt Zollers came in. I thought Kirby Moore called a really good game to settle Matt Zollers down and to kind of help this offense get to where it needed to be. I thought he did fine there. I'm not killing Kirby Moore on this one. Jared Howerly said Hardy's last run was 10:33 in the 4th quarter. This is, again, Jared, this is kind of similar to what happened in the Alabama game, is they felt like they had to do a lot more. They felt like they had to do a lot more than what they needed to. Now, granted, in this one, I think there was a lot less time. There was a lot less time for them to work with in this one than there was in the Alabama game. So I do understand some of the thought processes there. 56 total yards for Vandy in the first quarter, 85 in the second quarter. So they just had over 100 yards of total offense in the first half. I understand wanting to go for the ball or go for the touchdown, go for it on 4th down once you get that interception, to kind of really regain that momentum, to claim that momentum and put it firmly on your side. And your defense had been playing so well that, okay, if you turn the ball over on the goal line, you feel pretty good about letting your defense go out there and get a stop, which they did. They had a 3-and-out right after that. And they did what you expected them to do and what you anticipated them to do on the after you lose it on downs. It would have been nice for a touchdown, though, right? And that's where the play calling, I know Boyd's talking about Kirby Moore in it. The play calling when Zollers came in was completely different. It felt completely different for that. Now, I think it's very fair to say, hey, we gotta run the football on 3rd down. You are a running team. It's like this team is like a running team that doesn't want to be a running team, right? This team's strength is running the football, and they don't want it to be running the football. It seems like it's very odd. It's very odd. They have 2 really good running backs, and I don't really feel like it. Don't really feel like running the ball. So they get the ball back after forcing the 3-and-out that I mentioned to Vandy. They go 3-and-out. A great drive from the defense. They look dominant. They look stout. Vandy had only run 6 plays at that point in the first half. They started the half with the ball. They've only run 6 plays. Missouri gets the ball back. First drive with Matt Zollers. This is the first drive that they had with Matt Zollers, and I thought it was a good drive. I thought they put it well together. This is a 12-play, 37-yard drive. 12-play, 37-yard drive, taking up 5 minutes and 33 seconds. It was a laborious drive, fellas. It was a laborious drive. Every single yard with Matt Zollers in the game was so hard to get. It was so hard for this offense to gain any yards in this football game after Bo Pribula. Really, even before Bo Pribula got in there, but with Zollers in especially, it was like, okay, every yard is a hard-earned yard. They being Drink and the coaching staff, don't trust their kicking game. I see Larry Newbill in the chat brought up, plus they don't trust their kicker. They don't. They don't trust their kicker. It is very clear. I mean, they have to go for it because they do not trust their kicker. He misses a chip shot, 29-yard field goal? Is that what it was, chat? Let me double check this, but missed a 29-yard field goal. He was good from 39 earlier in the game in the second half, the first field goal of the game. They can't trust him outside of 30 yards. They did a 39-yard kick, and he hit it, luckily. They had a 29-yard field goal. At that point, chat, with about 4 minutes left in the third, I thought, man, if that's what this offense is going to be able to lead to, these long drives leading to points, not necessarily the touchdowns, but leading to points, you'll be okay with that. You'll be okay with that because you have a freshman quarterback coming into the game on the road against a ranked SEC team. I know it's Vanderbilt, it's still a ranked SEC team. You don't expect your kicker to tear an ACL. He wasn't supposed to be the kicker. Yes, I understand. Matt Zollers wasn't supposed to be the quarterback today either. Jude James wasn't supposed to catch a touchdown pass today. Next man up. I mean, it's got to happen. It's got to happen. So that was disappointing for that to happen. The missed field goal. Vibes were not. I think that I wrote that in my. I wrote that down. Yeah. There was a couple of big conversions on that drive as well. Sorry, just going through my notes here and kind of checking down on that drive. A couple of really big conversions to help keep that drive going. I believe one was on fourth down as well, like Kevin Coleman. Kevin Coleman came up huge on fourth downs today. I think offensively, I talked about already about how hard it was for them to move the ball, but there were some good things. I think there were some good things in this game that you can take moving forward. I'll be curious to see what Pribula's injury was. He was out there in a boot, and it was a lower. I first thought it was a knee. When I first looked at it, I thought it was a knee injury. I was like, oh, no, this is not going to be good. It's going to be like Sam Horn. Oh, yeah, they're also missing who was also in their quarterback competition. So both of the quarterbacks they had that were going to be their starting quarterbacks coming into the year are out of injury. That's awesome. I do think there's some positive things to take from Zoller's performance. I really do. I know Curtis asked in the chat, do you think Zoller's coming in shrunk the playbook? For sure. It had to. You have to find the plays that he's comfortable with running. What he's comfortable with running is not the same thing that Bo's comfortable with. He's not as much of a runner as Bo is. So there's a lot of different things that they would have. So I do think the playbook changed a little bit, and I think I really truthfully do think Kirby Moore, he deserves credit for settling Zollers in a little bit and helping them kind of calm down after the defense lets up a huge play. The defense lets up a massive play, one play, an 80-yard run here to give Vandy the lead, puts them up 10-3. 10-3. But to Missouri's credit, they come back and they answer. They came back and they answered with a touchdown drive of their own, a fourth down conversion. Matt Zollers to Jude James. You got to see a little bit of the future right there on that one. I thought that was a pretty good connection as well. A great response for them to tie the game up. And then Missouri's offense does a great job as well, or defense again does a really great job getting the ball back. They get the ball back to the Missouri offense, and they have a chance. Missouri's offense has a chance to go up in this football game, guys. And honestly, I wrote down, look, the vibes were low going into the touchdown drive that Missouri did after giving up an 80-yard touchdown run, after having 2 drives go inside the 20-yard line, clanking a field goal off the uprights, and then losing your quarterback on the goal line. Vibes were low. Vibes were not good. But Zollers kind of turned it around there with that drive. I think that drive kind of turned things around. They got some big conversions again from Kevin Coleman. Jude James scores that touchdown. Things go well. The defense had really contained Diego Pavia, and really today, as a whole, they contained Diego Pavia. I know he ends this drive with ends the game with like a touchdown run, but I think overall they did a really good job containing Diego Pavia, not letting him do what they needed to. The defense put them in the position to win. I had wrote down in my notes that if Missouri wins this game, it is because of the defense putting them in position to. That is why Missouri was in perfect position to win this football game with, when did they get the ball here? Let me look. With 11 minutes and 11 seconds to go in the game, Missouri gets the football, and I thought this I think is shaping up pretty good for Missouri. I felt pretty good with how Missouri was running. I knew they wanted to run a time of possession game. I knew they wanted to run the football. I knew they wanted to work the ball down the field, but they were going to have to score a touchdown. They weren't going to trust their kicker again. They were going to have to score a touchdown, and they have maybe the weirdest fumble I've ever seen in my life. The mesh point thing. Even when the mesh point happened, I was like, wow, that looked weird, and then I didn't realize that the Vandy player had it. 8-play 20-yard drive, which took up 4 minutes. You only get 20 yards from 4 minutes is insane. But only to result in a fumble for Vandy to take over on their 31. No, sorry, on Mizzou's 44. Sorry, excuse me. On Mizzou's 44, they get that and they take over. And they're in prime position to score the touchdown. They score the touchdown and give Missouri a minute 52 for them to work their magic. A Zoller's little legacy drive. But on that last drive, the last defensive drive, I should say, there were some... The defense just kind of started to crumble a little bit. There was that defensive pass interference that was really questionable that set up the and goal plays for Vanderbilt. And I know there's going to be a lot of people have a problem over the roughing the passer call. It is a soft penalty, but it is a penalty. They are always going to call that penalty. That is really sucky because both of those flags come on third down. Missouri gets off the field. That's an incomplete pass on the roughing the passer. You don't smack him across the face. You're off the field, and you get the ball back again with the game tied. DPI, that ball was uncatchable, and it should not have been a defensive pass interference. And Missouri should have been off the field with an opportunity. Maybe Vandy kicks a field goal there, and they make it, whatever, but you have an opportunity to win the football game. Thank you, Michael, for the update. Per Harold Kuntz, Bo Prabula has no broken bones, but had an ankle injury. It had to be popped back in. Don't have a timetable for his return, but it could be a while. Yeah, that's interesting. It sounds like maybe a dislocation of the ankle. That would be a weird injury. But nevertheless, I'll keep my eyes on the Twitter timeline as well. Matt Zinnett says we'll miss at very least the rest of the regular season due to an ankle injury he suffered today against Vanderbilt. Sources tell CBS Sports. Just seeing that come across the timeline here. Set to undergo further testing tomorrow, and it sounds like he will miss the rest of the regular season. Per Matt Zinnett of 24/7, CBS Sports, National College Football Insider for CBS Sports. He says that Missouri starting quarterback Bo Prabula will miss at the very least, the rest of the regular season for the Missouri Tigers. So it is going to be Matt Zollers for the foreseeable future. The refereeing in this game was awful. I know we were talking about that just before. Both sides, not just a Missouri thing. Both sides was terrible. Terrible officiating. Absolutely terrible officiating. SEC should suspend this crew, but they don't have enough refereeing crews to go along. They don't. And that blows. Alabama ended up winning. Yep, they did. Wow. Alabama might be the best football team in the country, guys. They might be the best football team in the country. Matt Zollers, I think, did look good. There's some things that obviously to clean up. He's a freshman quarterback playing his first game on the road, SEC game. I'll take it. I'm fine with that. Mizzou had a chance to tie it, folks. I mean, look, put them in a chance to win. They had an opportunity to tie this football game and potentially win this football game. Kevin Coleman catches the ball on the goal line, but he is inches short. Missouri loses this game, and Missouri likely also loses an opportunity to play in the college football playoff as well. I believe according to the ESPN playoff predictor, with a loss, they dropped to about 16%, 15 or 16%. So unlikely to be a college football playoff team for the Missouri Tigers after losing that one. They lose their starting quarterback. Their starting tight end left the game and didn't come back. 1 yard short with a backup quarterback, guys. That's how it ends for Missouri in this one. 1 yard short, backup quarterback on a road versus the top 10 team. They had every opportunity to win it. Absolutely had every opportunity to win this football game, but they don't. Feels like kind of the same story that we talked about last week with, or I guess not last week, against Alabama. Fortunately, they won against Auburn, but they don't win this one here. All right, I got to take a break. We're going to double up our break here. So I'm going to double up the break here, and we'll be back right after this so I can only take one break. We'll talk about some other stuff going on along the SEC. Some more thoughts from this game. Drop in the comment section what you're most upset about. What you're most upset about from this game. Let's look at the rest of the season. We'll do that coming up right after this. Got to take a break. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me here on the Mizzou That 2 postgame show. I'll see you after this. Calling all Chiefs fans, you could be on the field at the 50 inside GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Visit Chiefs.com/GEHA now. Enter to win a chance to be on the field for a once-in-a-lifetime view of the pre-game coin toss. Plus, you can score other exclusive prizes. Enter for a chance to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
My name is Terrell Jolly. A lot of people call me TJ, founder and CEO of Integrity Capital Management. So Integrity Capital Management originally started out as a property management firm, but we slowly transitioned to what is described as an incremental development firm that's focused on situational housing. I know most people say affordable, but we believe in creating housing for people that are actually in need and built to the end user. I believe everyone needs a home because when you have home, you have hope. The reality is that when you're building a business, one thing you don't think about is like what a true banking relationship means. And, I had the honor and privilege of meeting Debbie early on in my career when I was just trying to get going. And as a small business, it's really challenging at times because people don't understand the concept or not believe the longevity because you're just getting started. But Debbie was willing to take a chance on me, be patient with me. I almost look at it like a grassroots initiative. She's seen and believe what I'm about. Anybody that's really true about their business and want to get some things done, I would definitely trust hands down Emprise because Deb's team, along with Aaron and Jackie and all the amazing people that work behind the scenes, even from the treasury side, I would say, hey, give them an opportunity because you won't be disappointed and you will actually be in hands that actually somebody care and that will see you from start to finish.
Looking to remodel your home and in search of a top quality company to do the job? Contact Elenco. Since 1986, Elenco has been the remodeler of choice for customers throughout Kansas and Missouri. As a family-owned and operated business, Elenco provides customers top-quality products and unbeatable service straight from their family to yours. From windows and doors to siding, insulation, and bathroom renovations, there's no need that Elenco can't meet and exceed. Elenco only installs products that have proven track records of success, such as the Kohler Luckstone shower system. Elenco's installers are factory-trained professionals who know how to get the job done, not only quickly, but flawlessly. Whether you're located in Kansas City, Topeka, Wichita, or a rural town in northeastern Kansas or western Missouri, Elanco will come to you. Go to elancohome.com for more information. That's ALENCO home.com. Again, elancohome.com for more information and contact them about all your home improvement needs.
Chiefs Kingdom, I have got a question for you. What is your favorite touchdown? Well, for me, I can confidently say that my favorite touchdown, it's the next one, because with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, every touchdown could bring you closer to cashing in. From the first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. From spreads to money lines, same-game parlays, regular parlays, you want it, DraftKings has got it. Here's the best part. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. I use DraftKings Sportsbook, and you should too. Your team hitting pay dirt pays out to you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code KCSN. That's code KCSN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive reward. Minimum minus 500 odds required. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Appreciate you hanging out with me here after Missouri loss. Look, and some teams just get all the luck, and some teams just get all the bounces, guys. Texas tied it up with Mississippi State, 38-all with a minute 47 left after being down 31-14. Yeah. Sometimes you just have it. Some better be lucky than good, champ. Better be lucky than good. All right, reading some of the chats here. Appreciate everyone hanging up with me live at the time. Jackass has multitude of opportunities to win. I really think this was on the coaches. Hated the play calling until Zollers got out there, and we still don't have a kicker. Yeah, the Zollers play calling gives me a little bit of I don't know. I'm not killing the kickers. I'm not killing the kicker. The kicker needs to make his kicks. I don't love that. He needs to make kicks. I know he's a preferred walk on, but like, gotta have somebody out there who can hit kicks. The play calling prior to Zollers was a little bit frustrating. I will say that. Is a lot of the same script that we had seen with them trying to have Bo be the feature of the offense rather than Ahmad Hardy and the running backs that they have. That's certainly frustrating. I think a lot when I think back in this game, I don't know if I'll necessarily think about coaching as one of the issues that I had with this game. I think all the decisions to go for it were perfectly fine and perfectly reasonable. I saw somebody in the chat, Jack also said, QB sneak not only lost us a touchdown, but it lost us a whole quarterback. You can't not call that play because you're afraid of an injury. Like, if you're doing that, you can't. That play works, and we've scored plenty of touchdowns on it. We've seen Missouri score plenty of touchdowns on that play. It sucks it ended that way. It does cost us a touchdown. It does cost us a quarterback, but the play has worked. So I'm not shitting on them for that. I think the third down play call is a lot worse than what that play call was. And you can't just have revisionist history, be like, because he got hurt, that's why it was a bad play. We can't do that. I don't think it's Drink's fault at all for calling him. I don't think it's anyone's fault for calling that play and for him getting hurt on that play. He's a running quarterback. That's what happens with running quarterbacks. Running quarterbacks get hurt. Running quarterbacks get hurt. Chris Bro says Drink can leave. This is crazy, guys. This is crazy. If you want Drink to leave, who the fuck's going to be the head coach? Who would be better than Drink right now? That's dumb. That's dumb. I don't think that you should want Drink to leave. I don't think that you should want any other head coach rather than Eli Drinkwitz. I know that there's some pretty frustrations that he hasn't won the big game yet. I get that. It's frustrating. I'm sure he's frustrated about it too. And it's not fun to say, like, oh, they've been close in these games. I don't like to say that. Oh, they were close to Alabama. They were close in this game. They need to win those games. I get it. I understand. But Missouri's not Penn State. Missouri can't do that. Missouri's university can't do that. They can't pull a plug on a quarterback, or quarterbacks, excuse me. They can't pull a plug on a coach and expect to have a better coach walk through the door. If they're pulling the plug, James Franklin's not going to come to Mizzou. Drinkwitz is better than James Franklin. There's not a better coach out there for Missouri. I'm sorry. That's what it is. That's what it comes down to. Jake says most upset maybe that they didn't hand the ball off to the best running back in the SEC enough. I think 4th and goal should have been a handoff. Give it to your best player. 100%. Like, I understand wanting to give it to Hardy. You should have gave it to Hardy on 3rd down. You should have gave it to Hardy. If you give it to Hardy on 3rd down, he probably scores, right? You give it to Hardy on 4th down, he probably scores too. But I understand the thought process of running that play. You're using Hardy. I think Hardy's on the field on that one as the decoy. Sure, I get it. You should have gave the ball to him earlier. Steve Talbot says most upset about when we run the ball knowing we are going for it on 4th throughout the year thus far. Yeah. A real frustrating game, I think, all around. Jake says, and granted there was a backup QB, the defense played great and still lost. Reminds me of the Texans this year and kind of the 2023 Chiefs. Yeah, I think those are great comps. Defense played great, guys. Like, the defense, this is a good defense. This is a good defense. I can't believe Texas. That Texas thing's insane, guys. That is. And I think, Jake, this is the big way to put it here. Many missed opportunities. In both this game against Vandy and both this game against Alabama, many missed opportunities. And that is an execution thing, which I know in turn people will be like, well, that's a coaching thing. Yeah, kind of. But the players got to play. The coaches can only do so much, right? Before the players have to actually execute and actually have to go make plays. And I don't think Missouri has a lack of talent. I think, Jake, you were talking about the wide receiver. I think the wide receiver room is incredibly talented. I really do. I think Adubele could be maybe the best wide receiver in the SEC next year. I think Kevin Coleman is a very good wide receiver. Teams are taking away Marquise Johnson. They cannot get Marquise Johnson the football because teams are choosing to take Marquise Johnson away. I understand. I get it. He's a dynamic weapon. But there are so many missed opportunities in this game. Missouri outgains Vandy, 376 to 265. They have more rushing yards, only 170 rushing yards on 41 rushing attempts. They average 4.1 yards per rush, 206 yards through the air. They have they got 22 first downs on the day, 41 rushing plays to 37 passing plays. That's even in the back half of the game when they started chucking the ball over the yard on that last drive. Missouri wins the time of possession 36 minutes and 12 seconds to 23 minutes. Missed opportunities and lack of execution, Larry Newble says. 100%. You're right, Jake. If they want to be in the SEC, they got to win versus the big SEC teams. They do. Haven't watched Mizzou quite enough this year to realize the wide receivers are that good. I didn't know that. They have some talent. They have some talent for sure, Jake. And I understand, like, if you watch this game or you watch maybe Auburn or maybe even Alabama, like, you watch their last 3 games, I don't think you would be able to take that away from these games because they're struggling so hard to get the balls in the hands of their wide receivers. They've got some really talented guys in the room. They really do. They have some really talented wide receivers. I love the wide receiver room. I didn't even mention Josh Manning. Like, Josh Manning is a very good wide receiver as well. NFL teams, I know NFL scouts love Josh Manning for what he does, not only catching the football, but his off-ball stuff, his blocking, his everything that he is as like a team guy. They love that. The big part here is the turnover. Is that fumble? A very strange fumble that I've never seen before. And not being able to score points in the red zone. Not being able to score. They're 1 of 3 in the red zone. Getting a field goal in the red zone, obviously. Well, they have that touchdown, so I guess technically, the field goal wasn't in the red zone. So they're 1 of 3 in the red zone. They miss a field goal. They turn it over on downs, and they do score a touchdown, the Jude James touchdown for them. I mean, overall, I don't think you can't really complain about Missouri's defensive effort in this game either. It is just a lack of offensive execution, taking dumb penalties in this game when it matters. Penalties for both teams were a bugaboo. Now, this ref crew wasn't great, but they were still putting themselves in positions to be called for penalties. 8 for 88 yards on the Missouri side, 8 for 83 yards on the Vanderbilt side. So that's the story of the game right there, guys. Missed opportunities, penalties, 83 yards of penalty yardage. You can't really have that. Can't really have that many yardage in penalties. Missouri had been a pretty well disciplined team in terms of SEC standards coming into this game, and they take 8 penalties. That is a lot. Should we look ahead, chat? Should we look ahead to the rest of the schedule because Missouri now goes on bye. Larry Dubel says defense played excellent. They did their job. It's just not going our way on the offensive side with missed opportunities and so many unnecessary penalties. That's what really killed us in the game. Yep. Defense did whatever they can. Defense did whatever they needed to do to put the offense in where they needed to be. Jackass says this. Defense, Jack, I'll get to your other comment here in a second, but defense gives me hope. 100%. Without that 80-yard touchdown they won, yeah, they tackle him 20-yard touchdown. They had one explosive play, I'm pretty sure. Let me check this for a second. Big plays. Okay, they technically had two explosive run plays. They had a 13-yard run, which an explosive run play is just a gain of 10, which was the Diego Pavia scramble, and then the 80-yard touchdown run. They had 3 big passing plays. 16-yard pass. What was that, in the first quarter? Oh my gosh. They didn't have an explosive play. They had one explosive play in the second half, guys. Defense played their fucking ass off. I'll wear the explicit tag on that one. The defense played their ass off. It's a shame that this football game was lost because of that defensive performance. The more you look at the numbers, it's more just like, wow, they played really well. Missouri's defense played very, very well, and it's the offense. Jackass says, fair enough. Definitely not calling for anyone's heads over this. Just wish we used a safer punch than QB run. For sure. I get that. I understand wanting to just run it with your all SEC, all American running back. I get that. But I also think that I'm not going to kill them over that play because that play's worked so many times. Right? That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with it. If you're upset about it, that's fine. Like, you can be upset about it. I'm just telling you where I'm coming from in that, because I know that plays worked. I think they got a first down on it earlier in the game. It works as Hardy's the decoy. It would be nice if they ran, a Hardy on like a outside zone the play before and he scored a touchdown there, so they don't have to use that. But yeah. Yeah, that was a 3.5 hour game. 3.5 hour game, champ. All right, Mizzou heads into a bye week now. Bye week for Mizzou as they head into a bye week. And they will try to steer their ship against Texas A&M as they host Texas A&M on November the 8th. That'll be a tough one. That'll be a tough football game. But they do have a bye week, obviously, help get some guys right. Hopefully Brett Norfleet can get a little bit right. Haven't heard anything about his injury. They don't love, this is what I shock you guys, don't love to share a lot of information about injuries. Missouri does. Don't love to do that, but big bummer in that one. Looking at the Mizzou football schedule here, obviously on bye week, and then they do have A&M at home. Then they will have Mississippi State at home as well. Back-to-back home games with A&M and Mississippi State. Then they go to Oklahoma. John Mateer does not look like John Mateer of old, so maybe that could be a more winnable game. And then they go to Arkansas. So 2 straight road games to win it. They got 2 home, 2 road. They got 4 games. We need, if Missouri wants to obviously put themselves in a really good position, beating Texas A&M would be huge. It's going to be with Matt Zollers as quarterback. Matt Zollers is going to be this quarterback moving forward. I would love to see how the offense adjusts. To see him get a couple weeks of practice in with the ones is also going to be interesting as well, to see that chemistry kind of build with those wide receivers. He did need a little bit of work on those sideline throws in the game. Jake asked if anyone's ranked in these games. Texas A&M is number 3 in the country right now, Jake, as we record this podcast. I don't think that they've played yet. I think they play the night game tonight. Yes, against LSU. So that game is going on as we are speaking right now, but they're number 3 in the country. A&M is. Oklahoma's number 13 in the country as well. Arkansas sucks. And Mississippi State just blew a game to Texas, so they are not ranked as well. Mississippi State might be a scrappy out, guys. Apparently Mississippi State's going to be scrappy. Going to be a scrappy team. And Missouri will have to do it with the backup quarterback. Really their third-string quarterback. This is really their third-string quarterback. Missouri's going to have to do this with their third-string quarterback. They are already bowl eligible. Missouri falls to 6-2 on the season. We will see how the rest of the season plays out for Missouri. We will see. Texas A&M next week. Texas A&M, obviously, as I mentioned, they're playing LSU. Well, right now when we're recording. But next week, Texas A&M, I believe they might also have a bye week. Let me double check this. This loss does sting, Larry. This loss stings. Missouri, I really think Missouri did deserve to win this football game. The way they played, the way that defense played, they deserved to win that football game. They just couldn't take advantage of the opportunities. And look, let's be fair. Yeah. A&M goes on bye next week too. So both teams are coming off a bye into that game. That's going to be awesome. Let's be fair. Vanderbilt left it on the table for Missouri. There's plenty of, from the Vanderbilt perspective, if you're looking at that game, you're like, wow, there was a lot of opportunities we missed to just kind of put that game away. If you're looking at this from the Vanderbilt perspective. And there are very many people on the Missouri side looking at this game saying, man, there were very many opportunities where we could have put this game away. Ultimately, falling inches short is a big bummer. It is. It is a big bummer. I think that's the best way to put it. This game is a bummer. Missouri falls their college football playoff hopes to about 15% now. They're going to need a lot of help if they want to get into the college football playoff, especially after dropping to Vanderbilt, whose chances go up to, I think, like 56% or something like that for them to make the playoff. The rest of Vanderbilt's schedule, let me pull it up real quick. Vandy football schedule. The rest of Vandy's schedule, they'll host Auburn on the 8th. So they have a bye week too. Oh no, never mind. Sorry. They'll go to Texas next week. They'll host Vandy. Sorry. They'll host Auburn, host Kentucky, host Tennessee. Those are their last 4. Last 4 remaining for Vandy. Texas at Texas, hosting Auburn, hosting Kentucky, going to Tennessee. They should win 3 of those games, if not all 4. They should win at least 3 of those games. Depends on what Texas wants to do, I guess. Depends on what Texas is going to do here. As I'm going to give one last quick look to the scoreboard before signing off here. Going to go eat some dinner, wallow in my pain before NFL Sunday kicks off. Appreciate everyone hanging out with me here. Breaking down this Missouri 17-10 loss to Vanderbilt, just falling short. Looking at the college football scoreboard before I hop off here. It looks like that the Texas and Mississippi State game is going to go into overtime. Let me throw up the SEC scoreboard. Let's look at the SEC scoreboard here. That's what you guys really care about, is the SEC scoreboard. That game's going to go into overtime. A&M LSU just kicked off. Oklahoma hosting Ole Miss. They fall to Ole Miss 34-26. Auburn escapes Arkansas 33-24. Hugh Freeze saves his job. Alabama inches away from South Carolina 29-22. And Missouri loses to Vandy 10-17. All right, chat. Appreciate you hanging out with me. Appreciate everyone liking and for subscribing. Appreciate Jack and Larry and Jake. Everyone who commented. Appreciate you guys. Michael and Curtis and everybody. Appreciate everyone who commented as well. And if you weren't live at the time, appreciate you listening to this after the fact. But that is going to do it for me. Appreciate you guys listening all the way until the end of the program. Again, Missouri falls 17-10. They fall to 6-2 on the season, and their playoff hopes also probably evaporate in Nashville, with a lot of other hopes that usually evaporate in Nashville. That's going to do it for me. I'm Tucker Franklin. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe. I will talk to you guys next week.